He left me broken and built a new life like I never existed. I was with him for 4 years. 4 years of shared birthdays, lazy weekends, road trips, and quiet nights that I thought were filled with safety and love. He was the person I trusted the most, the one I thought I would spend the rest of my life with. We weren't perfect, but I believed that what we had was real, solid, worth fighting for. From the beginning, there were warning signs. I remember how he brushed off his Snapchat messages with other girls. I told him it made me uncomfortable. He told me I was being dramatic, that I didn't trust him. I wanted to believe him so badly that I started doubting myself instead. He convinced me that my feelings were too much, that my reactions were irrational. Still, I tried to push those feelings down. I wanted to be the understanding girlfriend, the one who wasn't clingy or jealous. I told myself that if I just gave him space, things would settle down. But deep down, I knew something was off. There was always this nagging feeling, a quiet voice inside me warning me that something wasn't right. But I silenced it. For him. Then we moved in together in 2022. That step was supposed to bring us closer. But it changed everything. Living together revealed who we really were, and it showed me just how far he'd go to hide the truth. That year, he cheated for the first time. He sent an explicit photo to some girl he met online. She ended up being a scammer who extorted $800 from him. And me, I was humiliated, heartbroken, but I didn't leave. I told myself it was a one-time thing. I forgave him. He apologized. Swore it would never happen again. And I wanted so badly to believe that, to hold on to the dream of us. So I stayed. I clung to the memories of our early days when everything felt new and magical. I thought those memories could carry us through the hard times, but the cheating wasn't the end. It was just the beginning of a long, slow unraveling. He crossed another line. He read my diary. It's hard to explain how much that broke me. I have BPD, borderline personality disorder. My diary isn't just a journal. It's the place where I go to process chaos, to dump every raw thought, every spiral, every irrational fear so I don't act on them. It's my space to survive my own mind, and he read it without asking, without understanding. He found an entry where I had written about how I felt unloved and distant from him. Instead of having a conversation, instead of trying to help, he used it against me. He confronted me, angry, as if I had done something wrong just by expressing my pain in private. I felt violated. Like even my most personal, unspoken thoughts weren't safe. I apologized to him for what I wrote, for how I felt, for daring to be honest in a space that was supposed to be just mine. That should have been the moment I walked away. But I didn't. I blamed myself. Again, in early 2024, my doctor changed my medication. It affected everything, my mood, my energy, my sex drive. I told him what was happening. He nodded, said he understood. I mentioned going off the meds. He agreed. That was the worst decision I could have made. Because without medication and therapy, I began to spiral. I became irritable, lost, anxious. I couldn't regulate my emotions. And instead of encouraging me to get the help I needed, he smiled and said, "You're perfect. Don't change." But I wasn't perfect. I was falling apart. I knew it. He knew it. And yet he did nothing. He liked me weak, fragile, unsure of myself. That way, I wouldn't question him, wouldn't challenge him, wouldn't see what he was really doing behind my back. Then the unthinkable happened. I found out I was pregnant. I was overwhelmed with fear. I knew I wasn't ready, not mentally, not emotionally. I couldn't bring a child into the world knowing I wasn't well. I told him that, and his response? If it were only up to me, I'd get rid of it. Those words crushed me. They shattered what little hope I had left. The man I loved, who once talked about family and the future, said he didn't want to have a child with me, that I wasn't enough, that I wasn't fit to be the mother of his child. And so we went through with the abortion together, at least physically, but emotionally. I was completely alone. The grief was unbearable. I cried until there was nothing left inside me. I felt like a ghost wandering through our apartment, haunted by what could have been. I couldn't stop thinking about it, about what it meant, about what it said about us, about me, but life didn't stop. Time kept moving, and I kept breaking. 6 months later, something happened that pushed me over the edge. Our upstairs neighbor drunk and aggressive broke into our apartment looking for a white girl to F asterisk asterisk asterisk. I was alone. I was terrified. I thought I was going to be assaulted. I locked myself in the bathroom and called him, panicking, and he didn't really react. He came home eventually, but it felt like I was just another inconvenience, another burden he had to deal with. Later, he admitted, yeah, I probably didn't do enough. That was my breaking point. That was when I knew I needed help. I couldn't keep pretending I was okay. I reached out to a doctor, told them everything, told them how bad things had gotten, told them I didn't feel safe mentally or physically. That appointment triggered an involuntary psych hold. I was hospitalized. I felt like a failure. I felt ashamed. But deep down, I knew it was necessary. I had to survive. I had to protect myself and from him. And while I was locked away, trying to piece myself back together, he was cheating. Again, he was texting my friends updates about my condition, pretending to be worried. Meanwhile, he was texting another woman, complaining about me, telling her intimate things about my breakdown, planning his exit. He slept with her at his parents' house. His mom and younger brother were home. They met her, and no one said a word to me. He told me he was visiting his sick father. He texted me, I love you, good night, all while lying in bed with someone else. That betrayal is hard to describe. It's not just about the physical act of cheating. It's the lies, the manipulation, the way he made me feel crazy for suspecting anything, the way he used my mental health as an excuse to distance himself while simultaneously building a new relationship. Behind my back, when I found out, I ended things. I was done, but the worst. One day after our breakup, he moved in with her. A week later, he was with someone new again. Another Snapchat girl. Just 2 weeks after 4 years of life together, he was already building something new with someone else. Asterisk, the day he moved out was the day everything fell apart for me. I kept replaying every moment, every word, every promise. I wondered if I missed the signs or if I was just blinded by love and hope. How could someone who claimed to love me so deeply just erase me from his life overnight? I remember the silence in our apartment after he left. It was suffocating. The emptiness echoed louder than any argument we'd ever had. I felt lost, like I was a ghost wandering through memories that weren't mine anymore. But even worse was the aftermath of his betrayal. Not just because of the cheating, but because of what came next. The lies, the manipulation, the way he gaslit me into questioning my own reality. He told me he cheated for me, that it was so I would hate him and the breakup would be easier. But all I felt was pain, confusion, and a deep sense of loss. The pain wasn't just about the infidelity. It was about losing the person I thought he was, the person I loved in the weeks after. I found myself stuck in a dark place. I felt so unlovable, like I was damaged beyond repair. I questioned everything about myself, my worth, my sanity, my ability to trust again. I wanted to scream, to yell, to tell him how badly he hurt me, but I had blocked him everywhere. So I screamed into a void instead. I looked for validation in strangers' comments and anonymous forums. In the quiet corners of the internet, I was desperate for someone to tell me it wasn't my fault, It wasn't easy to accept that he never loved me the way I loved him, that the promises were just words, that I wasn't the person he wanted me to be, that maybe all along I was just a trial run, someone he used to prepare for the real relationship with someone else. I knew I wasn't perfect. My emotions were intense, sometimes hard to navigate because of my BPD, but I was never mean or malicious. I was needy because I cared. I needed reassurance because I was scared, but I never deserved to be treated like a disposable object, a stepping stone on someone else's path. After the breakup, the stories from friends started to trickle in. Things he said behind my back, things he did when he thought I wasn't watching. It was a flood of new wounds, each one reopening an old scar. And then came the hardest realization. He was raising another woman's child, the same woman he moved in with just weeks after our breakup. 7 months later, and he was playing the role of a stepfather. It was like my entire relationship had been erased, replaced with someone else's story. And I was left in the ruins, trying to pick up the pieces of a life that never really felt mine. I've spent countless nights wondering what I could have done differently. If I had been less emotional, more patient, stronger, would things have changed? Or was I always destined to be the chapter that ends with heartbreak? The truth I had to face was brutal. Sometimes love isn't enough. Sometimes, no matter how much you try, you can't save someone who isn't willing to be saved. And sometimes the hardest thing to do is to let go of the person you thought would never leave, but letting go was only the beginning.